Okay, we're back at the engine again, and my parts have arrived, so I'm very happy about that. So this is my bearing, and it's a 16003. This is going to be my release bearing. 35mm, 17 inside and 8mm width. So just put them in there. Nice and snugly into there. Then I've got my push rod. The push rod is here. This area here is what fits into the bearing, and then the collar here fits up against the edge of the bearing and pushes the bearing in with the clutch actuator. So just stick him in. It's very nice. Happy with that. Everything sits there nice and neatly. And now we'll look at putting the back the cover. I have actually had a little play with the cover to make sure everything's good, and I've done a good seal up on the hole where the kickstart came out of. I'm pretty happy with that. So we just locate this in place. It just fits there like that. I will be taking this off later on to put the gasket in, so that's just sitting there. And sit that back a bit. A little bit of an adjustment here. And I'm very happy with that. Obviously it's not tacked back properly yet, but it's going to work out perfectly. So the actuator, there's an indent on the actuator that's the push rod end sits into. As you pull the clutch lever, pull the cable, the actuator turns and it just moves the flat on an angle. As it moves it on an angle, it actually pushes the push rod into the release bearing and releases the clutch pressure. So that's going to be that job working out nicely. I've got to get a gasket for that, seal that up nicely, and that'll be done. Down in here I'm pretty happy how I've done that. I've used stainless steel and sealed it at the back, and that's not going to give me any trouble at all. It's worked out to be a cost-effective way of getting ahead with this engine build. I don't think I'll go back to this area. I'm quite happy with this. In the future, if somebody wanted to make it back to a kickstart as well as electric start, they'd have to split the crankcase, put in a kickstart shaft and the gears to do that. I can't see that ever happening. I noticed down in here there's an indent for a rev counter. This engine doesn't have a rev counter. I'll put a little electronic one on there to keep an eye on the hours, etc., the running hours. So yes, I hopefully enjoyed watching this. It's basically my update on been able to complete this clutch side of the engine now that my release bearing has arrived. Quite happy about the way everything's going to go here, and I'll now be able to concentrate over on the alternator side, check all my connections to my coils, make sure I can identify which are the stator coils, and then I'm going to splice that into my CTX 200 wiring loom. Okay, thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.